everybody. I'm Pastor Gwen, and I would like to give you a quick word from the Word. I don't have my glasses, but I'm going to keep going. A quick word from the Word. Is that okay? Well, good, because I'm going to do it anyhow. I did a series on excuses. Because we can really come up with a lot of excuses for not doing what God has called us to do. We can come up with them. You know what I'm saying? We can come up with a lot of them. I can't. I won't. I don't have no money. I don't have no time. I don't have no help. And the list goes on and on and on. But I'm coming to dispel some of those excuses for you tonight. Somebody say tonight. Okay, and we are going to start with the excuse of I can't do it. For whatever reason, we have decided that we can't do something. We have decided that we can't do it. And we're going to come out of the book of Judges, the 6th chapter, and we're going to start with the 11th verse. I don't have my glasses. Let me see if I can see, because I might have to. Okay. The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak of Oprah that belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in a winepress to keep it from the Midianites. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." "Pardon me, my lord," Gideon replied. "But if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about when they said, 'Did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt?' But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of Midian." The Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hands. Am I not sending you?" "Pardon me, my lord," Gideon replied, "but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." The Lord answered, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." All right. So Gideon was his chosen vessel. Give you a little bit of history about this. The Israelites were in bondage once again. Why? Because of something they had done. Something simply that they had done. Like many of us are, we're in bondage to something that we have put ourselves in. You know, we like to blame stuff on other people. We like to find reasons to throw it off. We like to, because it makes us feel better. It makes us feel like less responsible. You know, the devil did it. The devil made me do it. It makes us feel less responsible. But in actuality, some of the things that we're in bondage to, some of the things that we are in our life, is simply because of some things, some choices that we made, some bad decisions that we made, which got us in bondage. But nevertheless, the Israelites, they were in bondage once again, and they were bondage under the hand of the Midianites. And the Lord was ready to deliver them from under the hand of the Midianites. And Gideon was his chosen vessel. And so the Lord opens this up on the 12th verse, and he says, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." A mighty warrior? Oh my goodness, that probably was the least thing that Gideon was expecting to hear. Mighty warrior? Mighty warrior? I'm not a mighty warrior. But let me tell you something, people of God, that God will never call you by who you think you are. He's never going to call you by that low self-esteem person that's on the inside of you. He's never going to call you by that name people called you when you were a kid and now you feel bad about yourself. He's never going to call you by that name your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend is doing to saying to you to attack your self-worth. He's never going to call you a loser. He's never going to call you, hey, worthless. He's never going to say these things to you. He's going to call you by who you are, because God sees the best in us. That song is a true song. When everyone around us can only see the worst in us, because God sees who we are. God sees who he created us to be. Amen. So he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." And Gideon like, who? Who you talking to? Who you talking to? And you can't be talking to me. I'm not no mighty warrior. But God says, I see the best in you, Gideon. When he came in contact with the disciples, he called them fishermen of men. He didn't call them fishermen of fish. When he came in contact with Jeremiah, he called him prophet to the nations. Jeremiah thought he was a kid. Oh, I can't do this. When he came in contact with the woman with the issue of blood, he didn't call her by her name, by her issue, because that's the only, that's what they call her, a woman with the issue of blood, a nameless person. They called her by her issue. But what did God call her? He said, daughter. He called her who she was to him. She was his daughter. Amen. So he called Gideon mighty warrior. Gideon like, pardon me? Who you talking to? That's not me. You know, I'm not a mighty warrior. He said, but if the Lord is with us, you know, he's starting to say, then why are we going through all of this stuff? You know, I done heard about the good things that you've done. I've from our ancestors. He said, but you haven't done for anything for us. What have you done for us lately? Nothing. See, sometimes we are so busy looking at what somebody else got and what's going on in somebody else's life that we can't even focus on what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be doing to advance our life, what we're supposed to be doing to walk into the purpose of the Lord. Sometimes you just got to stop looking at everything. I'm telling you, and I made this decision for myself. You know, some things is good to look at, you know, and learn, but some things begin to cause an issue within you. And when you find that it's becoming not as something that you're learning from and becoming a point of stress for you, then you need not look at that. You need not focus on what's going on around you. You need not focus on, you know, how this person has this and his person has that. Because we're looking at the wrong thing when we need to be focused on what we're doing and what's the plan for our life and where we're headed. Because so many times we're busy looking back at somebody else. We can't look forward at what we're supposed to be doing. And we don't even know what's that. You know? You don't even know. These people driving $80,000, $100,000 cars and can barely pay their car note. Or trucks can barely pay their note. Living in these big elaborate homes can barely pay their mortgage. Stop focusing on other people. Put your attention on what you're supposed to be doing. And so Gideon was focused on, like, this is what you used to do for the people, for our ancestors, and so, but you haven't done anything for us. And God says in the verse 14, the Lord turned to him and said, go in the strength you have and save Israel out of the Midian's hand. Am I not sending you? Go with what you have. Let me tell you something. Many of you think that you don't have anything. But you got something. You got something. It's right there. God has given you everything you need to accomplish the purpose that he has set forth for you. Wouldn't that be a cruel God? To give you a goal, to give you a purpose, to give you a dream, to give you that thing on the inside of you that won't release you, that won't let you go, that's drawing you, and then he don't give you the ability to do it? I come to tell you that if God has called you to it, he's giving you the ability to do it. It's right there. It's right there. 2 Corinthians says, my grace is sufficient. My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in thy weakness. Stop worrying about what you don't have. Because I'm telling you, if God has told you to do it, you have it. It's in you. It's in you. He said, go with what you have. He said, go with what you have. I already given it to you. Amen. When Moses was going to free the Israelites out of the hands of the Egyptians. And he was getting ready to cross the Red Sea. He had what he had. He had it in his hand. What God had given him, everything he needed, right there in his hands. And all he had to do was stretch out that rod. God had given Moses everything he needed. And this is what he was telling Gideon. He was like, go in the strength that you have. Go with what you have. Because I've given you everything that you need to do what I've told you to do. Gideon said, "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." And now Gideon is starting to look at his characteristics. He's starting to look at that low self-esteem within him. He's starting to look at his past. He's starting to look at everything that had happened in his past, the things that he had went through, his family relations, the things that he had went through as a child. Yes, I get it. I understand. Sometimes my mind goes back to things that happened to me as a child. Things happen. Things happen in this life. But those things are not meant to hold us back from a productive future. God said that I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So Gideon's looking at his characteristics. Gideon didn't think, this is too big for me. I can't do this, God. I'm the least in my family. Look who I come from. Nobody in my family ever had it. Nobody in my family ever went to college. Nobody in my family ever graduated from high school. Why should they expect that I do that? Because God said you could. God said you can. God told you to do it. And if God told you to do it, you can accomplish it. Stop looking at your past. Stop looking at your past failures. Stop looking at the how hard something is. Look at what's in your hand, that you already have it. And not only do you have it, God said, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." God not only told you to do it, God is with you. God said, "Lo, I am with you always, even to the end." God said, you can do all things through him that is your strength. God is not going to give you anything to do that he won't be with you. And you win. Let me tell you something. Every time, you win. You win. There's no failure in being obedient to God. There's no failure in it. There's no failure in being obedient to God. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Whatever it is. If God is telling you to go back to school, go back to school. If God is telling you to write a book, write a book. If God is telling you to ask somebody for forgiveness, do that. If God is telling you to connect with someone, do that. Whatever it is. Stop saying I can't. Say I can. Because God said you could. And just like he told Gideon, to go in the strength that you have. You already got it. You already got it. So let's dispel that excuse of I can't. I can. And you repeat that and you say that as much as you need to say it. Say it and proclaim it until you believe it. Speak those things though they be not. You speak it until you believe it. Have a blessed night.